None of these kids want to work. Hey, I'm looking for
Sure
work.
they don't.
Really? Really? Good, so we're gonna put you on a 6-day on, 1-day off rotating schedule, which basically means that you're never really gonna know your hours, so plan accordingly. And by plan accordingly, I mean don't have any plans. Accordingly. And by plan accordingly, I mean don't have any plans.
I'm single, I'm 35, and quite honestly, I'm lonely.
I'm just so lonely. I'm so overweighting. Like, when is it gonna be my turn?
Everyone talks about the male loneliness epidemic, but no one seems to be talking about how lonely women are.
Yeah, it is no longer COVID forcing restaurants to close. It's a lack of workers. It's a lack of workers.
Right.
Jobs at stake, the economy on the line.
Employers saying they can't find skilled workers here.
12 News investigates millions of your tax dollars spent in search of a fix.
Is it money well spent?
Most women say they want a high-value alpha male. They don't. They've been trained to want men that lie to their face, and that needs to be challenged.
Psychiatry in all of this time doesn't have one case report of one disease validated, not one. Total fraud. Total fraud.
They are
There you go. Welcome for joining us again.
dangerous.
And today we're talking regarding the labor and mate shortage. Or are simply people picky? Are employers and people picky due to the oversupply of workers and people? You can see this has been spoken about for probably hundreds of years. You see the middle article there, In Search of the Sensitive Man. This is written by Dr. Warren Farrell in 1986. You see the top right, the top middle there.
Oh my God.
Detroit Free Press. He says women don't really want sensitive males as they claim they want. You can read this. You can read this online if you want. And the bottom top right there, nobody wants to work anymore. You can see the decades they've been saying this. And the bottom right there, the root cause of all disease is toxic burden, which is correct. Yet we have modern medicine to keep making drugs and new surgeries, new drugs, so-called research for diseases they can never cure. There you go. Big integrative
There is no
topic.
labor shortage, which I'm sure you've heard said a lot, but we finally have something that really scares economists, and that's empirical evidence. In the food service industry, which is 14% of vacant jobs, there is a $3 discrepancy between what workers are willing to take and what companies are willing to pay. In retail trade, that is almost $5, accounts for 10% of all vacant job postings. And here's just a general overview of the wage shortage. The red bar is the minimum that most workers would take. The blue bar is what most companies are offering. I live in Victoria. I live in a one-bedroom. I work a tech job and freelance work, and I still spend about half of all my income on this place, more or less. Maybe this is one of those times where perhaps we should simply let the market solve it. Give that over to the all-knowing invisible hand of supply and demand.
Many people, in the name of crony capitalism, despise capitalism.
Many people do
Crony
that.
capitalism is this force by which you get ahead because you have friends in business, in government especially, basically where the power is, government power especially.
People who are setting the rules.
Exactly.
You can
and
influence.
you set them to influence, to help yourself.
It's another form of corruption, basically.
But too often, when people think of capitalism, they think of that. Yes.
No, the worst thing I hear is, well, my labs were normal, but I still feel like crap, which is
Reference range. Look at your reference range on your blood work if you don't believe me. Blood is a very poor way to measure anything in your body.
something I hear all the time. And it's like, your labs are not optimal. They're suboptimal for thyroid, testosterone, whatever the case may be.
And we wonder why we have this insane society. No wonder so many people are on drugs. Depression, everything you could name it. It's
Why do people
insane.
get so offended when they get asked out on a coffee date? My friend just got asked out on a date. The guy was like, oh, let's get coffee together. She's like, oh, I'm not gonna do that. But she said she would go if it was a drinks date, which I fully don't understand. So they're literally the same thing. Like, you're going to meet up at a cute spot and get a beverage.
Why? We wonder why so many people are single. Look at this. Look at how picky she is. It's just, wow, why can't you just be a human and just relax?
Like, yes, obviously coffee is cheaper than a drink, but you think this guy is putting in any more effort to find a coffee shop versus a bar? Like, I seriously doubt it.
Women are far pickier than men are. Women have a laundry list of things that they want in a partner. And the few things that men care about, it's almost always met with contempt, shaming. Why is it weird for men to want a woman who's not promiscuous? I don't understand.
I don't think women want very outlandish things versus when men want something.
Women don't want outlandish things?
No, honestly.
Women are way pickier than men are.
What women are you looking at? I mean, I'm 19 and I don't really want a top G, 2% guy who's super rich and
Isn't that the things that a lot of women go for though?
I'm saying I don't go for that.
And that double standard is wild. Women are encouraged to feel the vibes, trust their energy, and read the room before giving a man a chance. But the moment a man says he's doing the same, that he wants to check the vibe before investing his time, energy, or
Double
emotions, suddenly he's labeled cold, non-committal, or even toxic.
And many employers do the same thing. Virtually all employers, they say they can't find people, yet they don't want to invest in training. There's various reasons. They're afraid that people are going to leave, but then they don't train them, so it's a downward spiral.
Why is it that when a woman sets boundaries or standards, it's called self-love, but when a man does it, it's selfish?
This is the world's first realistic female robot assistant.
That'll turn
Now people are inventing robot assistants, sex robots. You see many guys in the manosphere talking about this sarcastically.
I'm the first personal assistant built by CyberLife.
This is crazy.
I take care of most everyday tasks like cooking, housework, or managing your appointments, for example.
And I understand you're the first android to have passed the Turing test. Could you tell us a little more about that?
I really didn't do much, I just spoke with a few humans to see if they could tell the difference between me and a real person. It was a really interesting experience.
Why can't we look at our own country and give them the skill set that they need to build your homes?
Yeah, and we import ready-made bodies from overseas rather than producing domestically produced people, quality people. We import products and people like it's water.
We just don't have those bodies.
Right.
So
You just refer to them as bodies. When they become as mere robots or bodies, then humanity's finished.
just don't have those bodies.
Right.
So
Yeah.
This is a
Search for the sense of
conspiracy.
man again. There you go. We can't find people. Women say he's saying that women are too picky. It's double standards galore. This is not all about attacking women. This is about women's loneliness. They say they can't find people, and employers, they say they can't find people. Nobody wants to work, they say.
Here's the truth. Men should be doing vibe checks.
Yeah.
They should be protecting their peace,
Yeah.
time, and emotional energy.
Yeah.
Because too often, men have been expected to pursue blindly, invest first, and only ask questions later.
And the same thing with employers. You go to employer, many people are so desperate they get any job, any work they can find, and then they quit sometime later.
And that's exactly how they end up hurt,
crazy.
used, or taken for granted. It's not just about vibes. It's about making sure the connection is real.
See, the dive in first, ask questions later also often applies to desperate people looking for a job. And is this a healthy way of living? Certainly not. That's why it's now necessary to run all sorts of verification checks on prospective mates and employers and employees.
That there's mutual respect, and that he's not just being picked because he's convenient or can provide something.
And after you've been through the meat grinder of life, you're going to have a lot of defects.
So no, men aren't wrong for doing a vibe check.
Oh my
In
God.
fact, more of them need to start doing it. Because if the energy doesn't feel right early on, it's better to walk away than to stay and be drained. When did emotional intelligence become a one-way street?
It used to be that women and men used to get together maybe in their late teens or early 20s and have family and try to stay together the rest of their lives. But a lot of health problems pop up, and that's why a lot of divorces happen. Same thing with employers. Employers used to keep people for quite a long time. It used to be like a familial relationship.
Yeah, we're gonna make that mean something.
Do all the previous content producers speak about the interconnectedness of the mind, body, and cell nutrition? Nope. Do employers offer real health care to maintain a truly healthy workforce? Virtually none do. Are females and males truly healthy in general? No. If they were, there would be far less confusion and
When
conflict.
the gut-brain axis hit the popular press and everyone became
Yep.
interested in it, I think
Yep.
the most intriguing headline was this idea that neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine are actually produced in the gut. Yes, this is an important link between the gut and the brain.
That standard deviation, that standard reference range is rarely optimal. It's taken from a whole group of people who are going to get blood work, which standard American getting blood work is sick, right?
Yeah, the reference range is what your doctor tells you if your blood results are normal or not. Most diagnostics are done using snapshot in time blood serum, which is severely limited. Why doesn't modern medicine use other testing methods along with in-depth orthomolecular cell nutritional analysis? It's mainly that because they're acute orientation, acute injuries, right? Not chronic issues, as well as being very outdated, slow to adopt new approaches in a heavily bureaucratic system.
So the worst thing I hear is, well, my labs were normal, but I still feel like crap, which is something I hear all the time. And it's like, your labs are not optimal. They're suboptimal for thyroid, testosterone, whatever the case may be, because the average testosterone range, which does vary lab to lab, is 200 to 900 or whatever it is, 1,000. Yes, most men, I see men at 23 years old with a testosterone of 200.
Yeah, you see a lot of these guys overweight, no drive, no ambition, and we wonder why they don't want to work. It's just crazy.
They're struggling. Most of them are not doing well.
So the summary is most societal problems stem from cell nutritional imbalances, and we don't get help like a botanist would for a plant. There's no shortage of workers or shortage of potential mates. Many people are too picky, and this is majorly caused by cognitive problems caused by cell nutritional imbalances, along with everyone else being sick. The whole system's sick. In this paranoid and insane society, it's best for both men and women to verify potential mates and employers thoroughly. But don't expect perfection, especially when you get older. But if you like what I'm doing here, please like and subscribe. and take a look at my free symptom measure tool on the left there.